not going to get the whole ride because that would mean coming all the way back to this station. We are getting off in Tomorrowland, but that's going to be like 3/4 of the track, so it's a little cold. Anyway, here we go. Let's check this out. Please.
Large?
Please.
Lower your head.
In a day now, I will say to you, goodbye, my love.
Hello everyone, and welcome aboard the Disneyland Railroad. Our next stop is going to be New Orleans Square Station. But before we get there, we do want to remind everyone to remain fully seated at all times.
Not fully seated, not halfway seated, but fully seated.
Inside the train. And remember to please supervise all children.
Not a quarter of the way
All
seated.
children are either sitting on an adult's lap or away from train openings. Our next stop is New Orleans Square Station. Thank you.
Welcome aboard the Disneyland Railroad. We're embarking on a grand circle tour of the Magic Kingdom. We'll be stopping at New Orleans Square, Mickey's Toontown, and Tomorrowland. We'll also visit the Grand Canyon and make a trip back in time to the primeval world and the age of the dinosaurs before returning to Main Street Station. As we begin our journey, remember that for a safe trip, you need to stay seated, keeping your hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the train. And please watch your children.
Bienvenidos a bordo del Disneyland Railroad. Para su seguridad, permanezca sentado y mantenga las manos, brazos, pies y piernas dentro del tren y cuide a los pequeños. Gracias.
Our first stop is New Orleans Square Station. But to get there, we need to pass through the wilds of Adventureland. It may seem peaceful through here, but trust me, it's a real jungle out there, literally. So be on the lookout. You just never know what might be lurking along the rails. Just ahead is New Orleans Square. This station also serves Frontierland and Bayou Country. If you'll be leaving us here, please remain seated until the train comes to a complete stop. Then watch your step as you're getting off. For those of you continuing on with us, we'll be resuming our trip in just a moment. This is New Orleans Square Station, New Orleans Square.
Well, we're going to walk back, right?
We are now approaching New Orleans Square Station. like haunted mansion and pirates of the Caribbean. This is also your stop for Frontierland, Adventureland, Bayou Country, and Star Wars: A Galaxy's Edge. Please remain fully seated until the train has come to a full and complete stop. Thank you.
It's so funny.
I guess I misremembered. I think the dinosaur thing is
To a
after.
full and complete stop.
Tomorrowland.
Thank you.
Are we getting off? Nope.
Not yet.
Peter Malarkey.
And for those of you choosing to stay on board, we kindly ask that you please slide on down to the left or the right of your row wherever possible to accommodate our onboarding guests. To avoid getting your feet stepped on, please slide on down to the left or the right of your row, or a cast member may come by and ask you to do so. Thank you.
It's the starving game. And if you win, you get half a pickle, an old ham, and a 6-foot Subway sandwich. For the, I mean, a 12-foot Subway sandwich for 5 cents. And, oh, she was Sarah Vine Vegetable. Sure, yeah, 5 seconds. You do. I can't even do this place.
Well, maybe we could take the train one more time to go to the Haunted Mansion from Tomorrowland. And then walk back from there down Main Street. They're not even watching this ride. They're playing with their phone.
They're tired, they're bored, they want to go get some rides.
Well, you just want to tell them how fun it is. That's why you don't know how to talk to you like this. Unless you do want to share all your biz.
That's so weird. I can control the TV. That's crazy. Yeah. Oh, it's completely different.
Is that like the... Oh, yeah.
Okay, I think we're gonna go in a minute. Maybe.
Hopefully. Why does it look so weird?
Hello everyone, and welcome aboard the Disneyland Railroad. Please find your seats at this time, as this train is ready to continue on to its next stop at Toontown Depot. Thank you.
I don't know what's it called.
At this time, we do ask everyone to remain fully seated at all times, keeping all hands.
Again, stay fully seated, not half seated, not 1/4 seated, but fully seated.
Supervise all children, ensuring that all small children are either sitting on an adult's lap or away from train openings. Thank
Make
you.
sure the children are fully seated. We don't want half-seated children.
To those just joining us, welcome aboard the Disneyland Railroad. To ensure a safe ride, stay seated with your hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the train. And please watch your kids.
Watch your kids.
Para su seguridad, permanezca sentado y mantenga las manos,
It's
brazos,
dark in
pies
here.
y piernas dentro del tren y cuide a los pequeños. Gracias.
We're now entering the Bayou, home to Tiana's Bayou Adventure. Take a sneak peek at the big party Princess Tiana is throwing, where the welcome is warm, the music is hot, and the company is sweet as honey. And when it comes to sweetness, the inhabitants of the land we're passing over are the bee's knees. Here in Bayou Country, you can join Winnie the Pooh, Tigger, Louis the Alligator, and other beloved critters on their fun-filled adventures.
Let's drive by and watch people eat.
Barbecue Jamboree. We're now joining up with the rivers of America and entering the frontier as it looked more than a century and a half ago. This is my favorite part of the journey. Around every bend, there's natural beauty as far as the eye can see.
The strawberry red. I think it's a sort of Pokemon red. It's not titled.
There is the revered Indian shaman, sharing his stories with those in the great river valley below.
Is that a real person or an animal?
People like you have been riding these rails since the 1800s, traveling through nature's wonderland in a matter of days, rather than the months it used to take by mule or stagecoach. Steam power not only fueled these iron horses, but the dreams of a whole new generation as it moved west into this great frontier. Of course, some of those dreams and the stories that went with them were pretty darn wild and downright unbelievable, like on Big Thunder Mountain, where I hear that mysterious spirits have grabbed hold of those mining trains and turned them into the wildest ride in the wilderness. This tunnel signals our transition from the frontier to another kind of ear, the ones you'll find on Mickey and Minnie Mouse. Our next stop is Toontown Depot, official train station for Mickey's Toontown, a cartoon home where Mickey, Minnie, and all their friends live. Toontown Depot is also the gateway to Fantasyland, where you'll find many of your favorite Disney animated characters and stories. If you're leaving us here, please wait until the train comes to a full stop.
We are now approaching Toontown Depot, your stop for the Toontown and Fantasyland area. This is also your second chance to stop for Star Wars at Galaxy's Edge. Please remain fully seated until the train has come to a full and complete stop. Thank you.
That's where.
And once again, everyone, if you are choosing to stay on board, please slide on down to the left or the right of your row wherever possible.
He
Like
keeps
those
saying,
who came
please,
before you.
please, Katie.
To avoid getting your toes stepped on, please slide on down to
keeps
the
saying,
left or the
please,
right,
please,
where a
please.
cast member may come by and ask you to do so. Thank you. Oh, and for those of you interested in going to Toontown, now may be a good opportunity before it closes down in anticipation of tonight's fireworks spectacular at 9:30, weather permitting.
Oh, this is at the Small World. I didn't realize that's where we were.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're one more.
Uh-huh.
Next stop.
Uh-huh.
Sunrise public store at the end? That's the store for the small one.
The toy shop?
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff. No, the ones that match my backpack. Then I've had the wallet for years and
Remember, I'm not even I don't know why so
Hello everyone and welcome aboard the Disneyland Railroad. Our next stop is going to be Tomorrowland Station. At this time, we do ask everyone to remain fully seated at all times, keeping all hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the train. And remember, please supervise all children, ensuring that all small children are either sitting on it and adults left away from train openings. Our next stop is Tomorrowland. Thank you.
He was speaking much faster that time. He must have had a cup of coffee.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us on the Disneyland Railroad. For a safe ride, remember to stay seated with your hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the train. And please watch your kids.
¿Qué tal, amigos? Y bienvenidos a bordo. Para su seguridad, permanezca sentado y mantenga las manos, brazos, pies y piernas dentro del tren. Y cuide a los pequeños. Gracias.
As we leave Toontown Depot, we get a real nice view of the happiest land of them all, Fantasyland. You can see people stepping onto It's a Small World just below us.
No, you can't.
And off in the
Because they're
distance,
closed for renovation.
majestic Matterhorn Mountain.
Please remain seated while the train is in motion. Please do not stand up to look over the green fence. Small World is just getting a fresh coat of paint in time for our 7th celebration. Please continue to remain seated.
We're now steaming forward into the future to a land inspired by visions of tomorrow, both practical and imagined. Here you'll find rocket ships and star speeders, submarines and astroblasters, and if you look overhead, maybe a glimpse of a Mark 7 monorail. This is the latest version of the first daily operating monorail system in the entire Western Hemisphere, gliding above Disneyland since 1959. Below the monorail, and us, are the fun-filled roadways of the Autopia. Drivers of all ages can get behind the wheel of these cars. No experience or license required. If you're into soaring spaceships or doing battle with evil empires and emperors, Tomorrowland is definitely the place for you. Speaking of which, we're pulling into Tomorrowland Station right now. If you're leaving us here, just stay seated until we come to a full stop. Gather your belongings, including lightsabers and astroblasters, and step carefully from the train. Thanks, and have fun in the future. For the rest of you, just sit tight. We'll be on our way again in just a minute.
We are now approaching Tomorrowland Station, your stop for favorites like Space Mountain and Finding Nemo's submarine voyage. At this time, please remain fully seated until the train has come to a full and complete stop. Thank you.
All right, folks, that's the end of this train ride, but we may come back for a part 2 later on after we have dinner here in Tomorrowland. So thanks for watching, whether you're live with us or recorded. We appreciate your views.
To a full and complete stop.